How did you guys meet?
We were introduced by a mutual friend. She had told him that she had somebody that she thought would be great for him, that she wanted him to meet, and then had told me the same thing, and we exchanged phone numbers and started talking, and it was all history from there.
When did you start dating?
Well, we started talking the beginning of October, and then it wasn't until mid-December that we actually hung out.
We should have met a long time before we actually met, but we were introduced through a mutual friend of ours, Candace, and Candace obviously sung her praises and said, "I got the greatest girl in the world, and she's so sweet and so humble and so all these things." And of course, that's what a friend's supposed to say. So I was like, okay, let me be the judge of that. So I started texting her and I said, "Gosh, like your friend Candace says like amazing things about you. Like you got a really great friend in her." She's like, "Oh, that's so sweet," and so on. She was like, I don't want to say distracted, but she was just like, wasn't like she was a fountain of like information. It wasn't like she was just giving out, compliments left and right. And so carried the conversation on and like really hit it off to the point that, I got up the nerve to like actually ask her out. And am I supposed to tell this part of the story?
Yeah, because I was going to ask that next. Like,
okay.
Tell me what the first date was like.
Well, the first date was great way later, but it was supposed to be, I don't remember what Saturday, but I asked her to go out on Saturday and we had a lot in common, recently divorced, the whole deal. So we had lots to talk about. And I said, "So you want to go out?" And she said, "Yeah." I said, "Great." So man, when I tell you I got like done up for that evening, I was excited. I haven't been this excited for a date in a long time. So I went out and I got my hair done, went to the store, got a new cologne, like I was ready to go. Suited and booted.
Yeah.
And so 5 o'clock comes around and I'm sitting there, and let me back up. We had agreed to go out on Saturday. Like, I'm very kind of like nonchalant. So I agreed to go out on Saturday, but didn't nail down a time. Lesson one, probably shouldn't nail down a time. So I get it like 5 o'clock, and I'm like, okay, she should be calling like any minute now. Like, that's fine. At 5:30, 6 o'clock rolls around. I'm like, it's all right. Like, her son's game probably went late. She got delayed. No big deal. 6:30, 7 o'clock rolls around. I'm like, all right, well, we don't have to go to dinner. We could go like dessert in a movie. And like 7:30, 8 o'clock rolls around. I'm like, crying into a towel, texting my sister like, man, I think I got stood up. So,
it's over before it started.
And then the pain can't be over the next morning, right? It can't be like, oh my gosh, I fell asleep, or whatever the excuse is. Like noon, 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock goes around. Like she is not texting me back. And finally, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 o'clock, I get a text like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, my phone got shut off. Like I had a plan with my ex and blah, blah, blah. And she said, my phone got shut off and I couldn't text you. And I was just like, man.
Yeah, you thought you was out.
Man.
It started.
I'd never been so uncomfortable in my life. So eventually we headed off, and about December, 2 months later, we finally like met up, and COVID was our
2 months.
2 months.
Okay, so you was chasing. You was in pursuit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also uncomfortable.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Got the prize in the end.
Right.
What made you go crazy? What made you say, damn. I like that.
Okay. So the Dustin Lynch concert, it was, pretty early on. I don't know, maybe like January, February, early. We actually, Landry, my son, he had went with us and one of his friends, and it was just like, felt like early in the relationship, we were still kind of like staying home a lot and keeping it just close to us type of thing. Yeah, we did. That's literally when we first started hanging out, was when we both had COVID. So we were in quarantine. That's what our first date was. But it just felt like, okay, like we were out in public. We were doing something that was just like so fun. We were singing along with all the songs, and they were like hitting close to home. And it was the first time we had put anything out on social media, like
About hanging out.
of the two of us together. Yes, right, yeah. And so it just felt like, okay, like this, this is legit, and we want everybody to know how happy we are, and like the feedback that like, people responding to our story and stuff, like, God, you guys look so happy, and we're just like, geez, like we really are. This is great. So
That's when you realize, like, hey, I'm happy.
yes,
Like this is.
I'm happy, and I'm allowed to
Okay.
be happy.
So when did you actually started dating 2 months later?
Yeah.
Okay, so when did things become official?
Man, it feels like immediately. Because we had that time to connect and talk and things like that, it was like the instant we met, I knew right away.
Yeah.
I need to see her again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember sitting at that table where she impromptu fell asleep early.
Yeah.
And right before she went upstairs to put her kids down, she was like, yeah, I guess we are an item.
Yeah,
And
we
I
never
was
really
like-
had that talk.
No, that was it, because my wife was crying.
Right.
So, I want to know what's going on here.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah, exactly. So, what by far would you say was the worst date? The stand-up?
Oh yeah, the date
Yeah.
that didn't happen was the worst date. Because I thought that was it. I thought there was never going to be a date that did happen.
So, what was the best date?
Oh man, ooh, that's a good one. There were a lot of them. Seems like every date that we have is like better than the last.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the highlights would be like when we went axe throwing together. Like
Yeah.
that was a good date. Our first date was literally sitting on our couch in our PJs. So, but that was a great date. We went recently out to Phoenix for a wedding and such, and like connected out there, and like that was the better date than we've ever had. So it just keeps getting better.
So, you over here aging like fine wine.
Yeah, I like to
Okay.
think so.
What is by far the most annoying thing he does?
Oh, the most annoying
Or-
thing he does?
Most annoying things.
Things that he does?
Yeah.
I would say just general blanket statement how stubborn he is. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't even know. Like,
all things.
on all things, yeah. He is very.
Why is the toothbrush over here? Why is this?
Right.
All of it.
He's stubborn.
What is one thing you cannot stand about her?
Her indecisiveness.
Okay, I was about to say, or multiple things.
No, just one. It's just the indecisiveness. Because I tried exposure therapy. I tried like forcing her to make decisions. It doesn't work. I can narrow it down to 2 things, and she agonizes over every decision. So, like, I'm just like we've actually the exposure therapy didn't work. So now I'm just making all decisions for us because
There
it's
it
just I experimented and gone wrong. So now she just nominated me to make all decisions.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. She made one decision, right?
Right.
Okay, well, describe to me in 5 words or less why you love him.
5 words or less.
Mm-hmm.
He feels like home.
He feels like home. Mm-hmm. Describe how or why you love her in 5 or less words.
Humility, sincerity, kindness, beauty, and thoughtfulness.
I like that. Tell me what you love about Tegan and Tenley.
Tegan, she is super sweet. She is very confident, and I love that like she knows what she wants and she's not afraid to say it. Tenley is super sweet, super like family oriented, very cuddly, and loves hanging out. Both of them are amazing with my kids. Literally, people that see them, they think that they are all, actual siblings from the get-go. You'd never know otherwise. They, I feel like, have, embraced me and my kids, and it just feels so normal and natural for all of us to be together. And I love that they are role models for the younger kids.
And the last question. What do you love about her kids?
About her kids? Man, they're all so cool. Like I love the fact that everybody gels so well together. But if you broke it down on an individual basis, like Landry is the epitome like of a cowboy. I mean, he's like super calm and cool, tough when he needs to be, but also sensitive. Like fun to hang out with. Like always wants to be active, but is like a little gentleman. You know, like I remember him walking outside with Tegan. Tegan was cold, and he gave Tegan his jacket, you know, and like made Tegan and I, you know, tear up. Like he's just such a cool little kid. Channing is like the epitome of of childhood, right? Like she's excited about everything. She's kind. She's sincere. She loves everyone, and you know, quick with a smile. Like never sees the negative, you know, side of things. She just is happy. It's just like, you know, you want to bottle that up and keep her young while you can, because she's awesome. And Pax is like the wild man, right? Like he's a frat boy, you know, at 6 years old. Like if you're gonna have a party, even at this day and age, I know he can't drink, but like if you're gonna have a party, you need to have Pax with you, because like
He'll get it started.
yeah, he's there for it.